Hello there. Today we are learning about expressions, and our foldable is going to be created from a legal size piece of paper cut in half lengthwise. We're going to fold it in half in this direction. And on the front, we're going to put our title, Expressions. And we're going to cutesify it. And we can put some little expressions on here. Smiley face. Kissy face. Frowny face. There we go. Now let's go to the inside and begin our notes. So on the left side of our foldable here, we're going to talk about numerical expressions very quickly. These are going to be what you are most familiar with. You've been dealing with these guys for a very long time. Root word here being number. So these numerical expressions deal with numbers and the operations. So that operations would be add, subtract, multiply, and divide. So we're looking at 4 plus 2, 2 plus 3. Oops, excuse me. 4 minus 6. 5 times 4. 32 divided by 8. These are all numerical expressions. And that's all there is to those. Now, let's go to the right side of our foldable and look at algebraic expressions. These guys, see the root word being algebra? These guys are including variables. They can also include numbers. And they also include operations, add, subtract, multiply, and divide. Variables, in case you don't remember, would be those letters and symbols that represent an unknown number. Something you need to know when you're dealing with algebraic expressions is what we call the substitution property. Now, you deal with the substitution property in other forms besides math. Some places that you might deal with that would be in sports. If the first string quarterback gets injured, or he's playing very poorly, he gets pulled out of the game and the backup substitute gets subbed in. Okay? That's real world. Okay? So, second string QB for the first string, we can say he's injured. first string QB. Okay, you see it in substitute teachers. If your teacher is sick and can't make it to school, you will have a substitute teacher subbing in for your real teacher. Rental car. It's subbing for your car that maybe has been in a wreck or is not functioning correctly. Splenda is a substitute for sugar. It's a sugar substitute. If you are into theater, an understudy would be a substitute. So those are some real world applications of substitution property. Looking at how we use it in math, and specifically in expressions, algebraic expressions. We are going to replace a variable. So if you want to think of the variable as the first string with a number, and the problem will tell you what number to use. And I'm going to tell you, especially when you're dealing with negatives, substitute in with parentheses. That's important when you're dealing with negatives. Okay? So your first step will be substitute with parentheses. Substitute the variable for the number with parentheses. And then after that, you follow your order of operations, and then you're done. Our example, I'm going to go back to pencil for this one. Let's say we have 2a squared plus 5c. I have numbers, I have variables, and I have operations. I have multiply and add. So the problem said use -7 for a, and then for c it said use 8. It will say that in the problem. Okay, so I take -7 and I put it everywhere that I see a. Take out that first string, substitute in. Everything else remains the same. Take out this first string c, put in its backup, second string. This is 8. Follow your order of operations. The first thing you're going to do is your exponent. Evaluate your exponent. So -7 times -7 is 49. And then 2 times 49 is 98. And then 5 times 8 is 40. And you add those two together, you get 138 is our final evaluation there. There are some other things in math that exist that are not expressions. We've dealt with, and I'm going to tell you right here, leave yourself some room right here. This is going to be where we glue this into our journal. So this is the back side. Equations. Equations are not expressions. That's where 4 plus 2 is 6. And c divided by 4 is 7. Okay? These kind of equations, mathematical sentences, they have an equal sign with an answer. They have one solution. Or answer, if you want to call it answer. And you can think of these equations and balancing them like a seesaw. Whatever you do to this side of the seesaw to keep it balanced, you have to do it to this side of the seesaw to keep it balanced. So those are equations. Something else that we deal with in math, another mathematical sentence, would be inequalities. That would look like c plus 4 is greater than or equal to 7. Or you could even just say any number that is less than or equal to 2. It's similar to equations, but the difference between equations and inequalities is that they use less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. You might even see this, not equal to. They have those symbols instead of the equal. And something else that's different, these equations have one solution. Inequalities have many solutions. Hopefully you do that better than I do. Okay, so looking at this, if I was looking at E as a number less than or equal to 2, well, that could be 2, 1.9, 1.5, 1, 0, negative 1, anything on the number line that's equal to 2 and anything to the left of it could be a solution for E. Now what you're going to do with that is you're going to take your journal. So this was the last foldable we did, translating words to math. Turn the page. And this is going to go on the next empty page in your journal. And then make sure you go up to the front, your table of contents. Page 54 is our expressions foldable. And that is all we have for today. Thanks for listening.